Good day, beautiful black people. This is Major Tuna with MajorTv. Let's talk. While listening to Breakfast Club, while I was driving, they had Taraji Henson and her best friend Tracie Jenkins on the show. We were talking about their latest show called Peace of Mind. I don't know if it's the second season or whatnot, but they was talking about some interesting things. And this show is really focusing on dealing with mental health, and they focus on celebrities and let people know that celebrities go through things as well. I think that the black mental health conversation is starting to pick up. It's starting to cover a lot of areas. It's not discriminating as far as poor black people. It's also focusing on people that have money and what have you. And I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what you have. How they try to divide us by classes and whatnot. Low, middle, upper class, poor, wealthy, rich, or what have you. We as a people suffer tremendously from mental health in all aspects. But there was things that both Taraji Henson and Tracie Jenkins spoke about that was deep. And Taraji Henson was talking about A.G. Herbal, the rapper out of Chicago. How he was talking about he lost 100 associates or friends to the police, violence, and how she was just so, it was just so touching, and it was also hurtful to see the violence that he experienced growing up in Chicago, even though he, of course, tell a lot of energy into hip hop and doing music. It had a profound feeling that came over, and she speaks about it. So I recommend y'all probably go watch that. It's not like a real long, detailed Breakfast Club interview, but it was deep. And then you had her best friend Tracie Jenkins that spoke about a teenager, and she started crying about the violence, him losing his best friend and how he need help. I lost my best friend to violence, and words can't describe when you really going through something like that, how you feel, what you're thinking, whether you want to retaliate, whether you want to take your own life, or you want to just get mad and just take it out on people in general, right? And most times be on our people, black people. When thinking about it and meditating on the whole interview, I just thought about something that just came over. That's why I want to do this audio right quick. Was the fact that at one time I really had a problem before I go there with politically talking about personal things. I do to a certain degree because there is a form of exploitation because of the monetary gain that they get from doing this kind of stuff. Right? But I do see the healing. I do see the fact that we need these conversations for so long. We have buried these conversations in the clouds. We put it away in the rumor, but we forget and act like we don't really go through it, that we're not hurting, that we really not going through something. We look at trauma that black women been through, right? Especially being black and being a woman, and then how the black man, have dropped the ball on many occasions. And then you look at young black men growing up and what it's subjected to as far as the violence, as far as the crime and the ignorance, you know. Some not even having a full home where they have a parent, where they have both parents at home. You look at black people, they have money, but deal with the stress of always being reminded they're black, and they can get pulled over, they can get targeted, that they can be out of a job. And you look at this, and I'm talking about even corporate. It's so much as a people we gotta put up with. And just listening to the interview made me just, cause I had done live with Bro Loud last night. We talked about literally everything. But one thing I was saying over and over again, that we have to put boots around. We have to really go talk to the people. We really have to really just get them opened up, what have you. I commend Taraji and Tracie for what they're doing in reference to talking to people about what they've been through in their life, and then also sharing it with the public, and then also, you know, just talking about experiences that they actually was drawn into that really touched their heart and what have you. And for me, I'm trying to look past the commercial part of it and sometimes exploitation of it, and just be realistic and be like, hey, we have to have these conversations. How we're gonna be able to reach the masses and what have you. And you know, it goes for myself, you. We have to have this conversation. We have to address what we're going through as a people. And I know at the bottom it's far worse, but we all share the same trauma. Even the pro-black community, the black conscious community, we share the same trauma that Dr. Joy, the guy, was talking about, post-traumatic slave syndrome. You know, I don't care. And the reason why I say I'm bringing that up, because I know I'm talking about more of a mindset of us being brainwashed, right? To think a certain kind of way, to look at the enemy a certain kind of way, to look at ourselves a certain kind of way, and what have you. But I'm going there because a lot of times we deal with trauma that we can't even explain. I'm talking about previous trauma and current trauma, and just knowing for years, going through a school system, going through society, how we've been painted a certain picture, but when people come over, even our own people look down on us, right? And that we have lost self-respect and human value for each other because of the violence, you know, of the criminal activity that we do to each other. It goes very deep. So me making this audio was just me addressing what they was talking about, but also saying that we have to keep this conversation going. And shout out to Charlamagne the guy. I know he's full of BS at times, and a lot of times he be contradicting himself, but he do push the black mental health thing real serious, especially in our community, because the trauma is deep. And for me, it's like we have to push the conversation, then we have to actually have this sit down, this real conversation, and really talk about what we're going through. And I plan on doing that on my channel, and I need people to open up, you know, and it have to be so personal, but we gotta talk about the trauma we've been through. And watching this interview, it enlightened me a lot, and feeling some sense of hope of just knowing that we can have this conversation, knowing there's nothing wrong with going to see a therapist. I see my therapist twice a week. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, we have to, you know what I'm saying? We have to seek help. We have to talk about it. We have to make amends with ourselves, you know, and people around. We just have to do better, you know. So I just wanted to do this audio because when I was listening to Taraji P. Henson and Tracie Jenkins interviewing on Breakfast Club, and their podcast, They Got Peace of Mind. And I'm gonna check it out. I was briefly looking at previous shows and what have you. It was deep, the conversation itself. So kudos to them, you know what I'm saying? So that's all, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Y'all stay focused, stay on cold, and just be black. Peace.
try again. Stay on the straight and narrow.